back to my channel. It is your girl Courtney Lauren. For those of you who are visiting me for the first time, welcome, and for those who are coming back again, welcome back. In today's video, I'm just going to be showing you guys how I do my classic Italian spaghetti and meatballs. I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my meatballs from scratch and all that goes into that. This is a really good meal. Especially if you have a family, and two, if you're trying to be cheap, because everybody knows spaghetti is one of them dishes that you can just literally throw together in the matter of minutes, and it's very, very affordable, and it feeds a lot of people. So if you guys want to see how I make this recipe, keep on watching and let's get started. Alright, you guys, let's jump right in. So here I have 1 pound of ground chuck beef. It's 80/20. I have about 4 garlic cloves that I crushed, 1 medium onion diced, 1 red bell pepper diced, and 1 green bell pepper diced. I'm also going to be using a nice big bunch of fresh Italian parsley and some minced garlic, olive oil, breadcrumbs, garlic and herb seasoning, crushed red pepper, sun-dried tomatoes, garlic powder, onion powder, Italian seasoning, ground black pepper, spaghetti sauce. I do have salt back there too, and an egg. So first things first, I'm going to start making my veggie mix for my meatballs. I'm going to pour a little bit of olive oil and let that heat up in my pan. I'm going to add in my fresh crushed garlic. I think the fresh tastes way better in the meatball. I'm going to use half of my medium onion, save the other half for the sauce, and do the same thing with the green bell peppers and the red bell peppers. So only use half, because half is going directly into the meatball and the other half is going to go in the sauce. And then I'm just going to sprinkle about 1/4 of a teaspoon of my crushed red pepper, and I'm going to go ahead and start sauteing this in the pan. We really want to get this nice and sauteed. You want those vegetables to be nice and soft, that garlic really fragrant, and those onions to be nice and translucent. And we're just going to put this veggie mix right into our bowl when we mix up our meatballs. It's going to give it really, really good flavor. So I'm just going to saute this down, and I'll be right back. Alright, my veggies are looking nice and golden and cooked up. I'm going to show you here. This is exactly what you want. You want them to be nice and colorful and soft. So now that those are done, we can go ahead and start making our mix for our meatballs. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and take my ground beef. I'm going to put that right into my bowl. I'm going to take those vegetables and put those in my bowl as well. My son is here, so if you hear any baby noises in the back, he wants to be stuck up my butt today, so disregard those noises. But then I'm going to add in my Italian seasoning. I would say at least a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, along with a half a teaspoon of my garlic and herb seasoning, salt, and pepper. So I'm putting pretty much a half a teaspoon of all of my seasonings in there. Alright, now that I put all of my seasonings in, I'm going to go ahead and crack my egg, put that right into my bowl, and then I'm going to put about a 1/4 cup of my breadcrumbs in there as well. And I am just going to mix this whole mix right up. So I'm going to take my hand with a glove, and I'm just going to go in and make sure this is nice and evenly distributed. I want everything to be nice and blended up together before I start shaping up my meatballs. Lastly, I'm going to just go ahead and toss in my fresh parsley. I feel like this gives it a really, really good flavor. If you have dry parsley, that's fine too, but I'm telling you, putting some fresh parsley right in those meatballs is going to just give it a whole extra layer of flavor. So go ahead and mix that all up as well. Just make sure everything is nice and evenly incorporated. The egg is nice and dissolved, and it's just ready to be shaped up into our meatballs. And my mix is ready. This is what it looks like. So next I'm going to go ahead and get a baking sheet. I just like to line it with some aluminum foil just to help with the cleanup, and I'm going to spray it with some cooking spray. I'm going to go ahead and start making my meatballs. Normally I like to make these medium size, but you guys can make them whatever size you want, small, medium, large, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and take all of my mix, and I'm going to start shaping up all of my meatballs, and I'm just going to line them all right onto my baking tray. Like I said, I did spray this already with some cooking oil. That's also going to help it not to stick, because I'm cooking these in the oven. Right now my oven is on 375, and I'm going to cook these for about 20 minutes in my oven, and I will take them out at that 20-minute mark. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and shape all these up, and I will be back in just a second. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and place these in my oven, like I said, at 375 for 20 minutes. And next we're going to get started on our sauce. So I'm going to take that same pan that I made my first batch of onions and peppers in, and I'm just going to toss all my stuff right in that pan since it's already kind of pre-seasoned and it has just a little bit of oil left in it. So take the remainder of your green pepper, your red pepper, and your onions, and I'm also going to take 1 tablespoon of my minced garlic as well. And I'm going to put that right into my pan, and I'm just going to let my pan heat up so I can start cooking down my vegetables. The next step after your pan starts to heat up a little bit is to grab your sun-dried tomatoes. I love to pour just a little bit of the oil that's in the jar. I think the oil is very, very flavorful, and it just gives the sauce just an additional layer of flavor. And I'm also going to be adding in about half of a jar of these tomatoes in there too. I love putting sun-dried tomatoes in my spaghetti sauce. I just feel like it's better than just the regular canned diced tomatoes, and it's just really flavorful, and it gives it really good flavor. Honestly, you guys, I love putting mushrooms in my spaghetti sauce too. And I had some in my refrigerator, and I was contemplating this entire time to put them in there. But my husband hates mushrooms, and he would have been very upset. So I did not put any mushrooms in there, but I love spaghetti sauce that has some mushrooms in there too. So if you like that, go ahead and add those too if you want. So now that my pan is nice and heated up, it's been about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm gonna just let these cook down a little bit longer. I really want these vegetables to be nice and cooked down before I start adding in my sauce and my seasoning. Alrighty guys, so now that my vegetables are nice and ready, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 jars of my spaghetti sauce right into my pan. You guys can use any spaghetti sauce that you like. I'm actually using 2 different kinds of spaghetti sauce because I only had 1 jar of the first kind. So I'm going to use 2 different kinds, but honestly, as long as you season it well and your ingredients are right, your spaghetti sauce will come out perfect. It honestly doesn't matter what kind you use as long as you season it the right way. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix that around, get that nice and incorporated, and I'm going to start seasoning it up. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of my Italian herbs. I'm going to put some onion powder, some garlic powder, along with some salt and pepper, of course. And I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of my garlic and herb seasoning as well. So like I said, just make sure you season your sauce up really good. And I do add in just the tiniest little sprinkle of sugar. The sugar does help to cut back on the acidity of it. Don't be extra and putting in a whole jar of sugar. I'm talking like literally a half of a teaspoon just to cut some of that acidity down. And go ahead, mix this all around, get your seasonings nice and incorporated, and I'm going to cover this up and let this come to a simmer. Whenever you guys are cooking spaghetti sauce or any sauce for that matter, you really want it to be covered because y'all know once it starts heating up, it gets to popping and it will make a big mess. So after 20 minutes, I'm taking my meatballs right out of the oven. As you can see, they're nice and ready and browned up. What I usually do is before I start putting in my meatballs into my sauce, I take the sauce off of the burner that it was cooking on. If you try and put these meatballs in your sauce while it is on the burner that it's cooking on, it will splash, it will burn you, it will make a mess. So either turn your stove off or move it completely off of the burner you're cooking it on, put your meatballs in the sauce, and do it that way. Alright, so now that all of my meatballs are back in the sauce, I'm going to put that back on the burner I was cooking it on. I'm just going to coat all the meatballs with the spaghetti sauce, and I'm just going to let this simmer for another 10 to 15 minutes just so it all marries together. The meatballs get sopped up with the sauce that we made, and it just all comes together nicely. So like I said, simmer this another 10 to 15 minutes. I'm showing you here what it looks like. But as you can see, that sauce is starting to pop again. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that up. Turn my stove down low and just let it simmer for another 15 minutes or so. And it will be perfect. And I'm showing you here. It's been 15 minutes. My sauce is beautiful. My meatballs are perfectly cooked. My house is smelling fantastic. I really hope you guys give this a try. It's nothing like just a classic spaghetti and meatball dinner. And if you have a family like I do, meals like this go a long way, believe me. And not to mention, it's affordable, you know? So you're gonna have plenty of leftovers. It's nice and cheap. Your family will love it. I'm just gonna show you one more time what it looks like, and I'm gonna show you how it looks like nice and plated up. And like I said, I really hope you guys give this a try. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video. Here is the plated up version with a little garlic bread on the side, and I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. And as always, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye everybody.